Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope you guys had a good week and that your weekend has started well as well. So we are officially into August, so I guess that means we're over halfway through the year already somehow. I don't know how that's happened, but hello to you guys in the live chat room. Who have we got in there? We have Bella, Kevin, Joe, Billy, Bob, Debbie, and Howard's in there. Rose, Desert Deluge, Roby, Alison, and Mrs. GPD or something that says. So yes, moving too quickly, but hello to all of you in the live chat room. Thank you for joining me tonight on this Saturday night. And here in the UK, I'm hoping that we're getting towards the end of our 4th heat wave. So we've got the air conditioning on in the room, so everything's fine here. But yeah, across Europe, it's been going crazy with fires and all kinds of things. And we've actually had quite a lot of fires here in the UK as well. But thankfully, they've been put out very quickly. But yeah, crazy temperatures. And hopefully, fingers crossed, things... I don't think ever in the past somebody in England would say, fingers crossed in the future, it's going to be a little bit cooler for this summer, because we're always wanting sun, apart from when it's like 35 to 40 degrees Celsius, so it's too hot to do anything, and then we don't have any rain in like 40 days or 45 days, however many days it's been. So the other thing that obviously getting slightly sidetracked here, the other thing that I don't know is a bit frustrating is that when it is hot here in the UK, because people aren't used to it, people go to lakes and rivers, and especially rivers, they really don't appreciate the currents and the fact that, yeah, if you get caught in the current, you're going to be in trouble. So as much as it is hot and people want to cool down, yeah, unfortunately there have been a lot of deaths, sadly, from people that have gone into the river going for a swim. And yeah, it's just I don't know. And then we've got the other side of things where people have been going into the sea and either kind of getting swept out, and again not understanding how powerful water is. It's pretty powerful if you get caught in some waves. And the other thing that they are saying on TV and actually on local news, they said about learning to float. So something that can save your life. I think the huge problem is when people get out too far from the shore and they see now how far out they are, they start to panic. And when they start to panic, that's when you might try and swim more and use all of your energy, rather than maybe just thinking, okay, I'm in a bit of trouble here, so I'm going to float on my back. And yeah, on this news show, they were just kind of showing the presenter being taught how to float, so then you can just kind of float and maybe shout to people saying, yeah, I'm in trouble here, so if you could come and get me, that would be much appreciated. So yeah, a lot to be said for really respecting water, and even if it is really hot here in the UK, for people that might be watching this in the UK, it's probably safer just to I don't know, pour some water over your head. But yeah, crazy heat here, not used to it at all. That's probably half the issue. People aren't used to this kind of thing, so they wouldn't normally go into rivers or go swimming in the sea. They just want to try and cool down. But anyway, let's get into tonight's live stream. And I get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place. A huge thank you to you guys. You know who you are. And I always say they're the foundation of everything that I do and allow me to do what I do, the live streams, the analysis videos, also set up the side project of Authentic Vocal, which I'll jump into that in a second, because we'll get the likes goal up on screen to begin with. We're aiming for 340 likes tonight. So if you could give a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be very much appreciated. It is a very big target for tonight. Let's get the like commenter up on screen. We are at 190 likes so far, which means we're looking for more. I was going to say 145 people, but it felt like that wasn't going to be correct. But maybe it was correct. I don't know. So, yeah, every single thumbs up is very much appreciated. I'll also get the donations tab up on screen. As I always say, you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. But for those people that can't resist, I think it's important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link. And, Diamond Girl says, no Phil, Jam 340 and likes 335. Okay, so what have I done? I've looked at... Hang on. Now, the problem that I have is because Joe's message is always here for the Phil Jam, and it is indeed... Oh, hang on. It is indeed Phil Jam number 340. So no, I am correct. So the likes goal is 335. So there we go. Right. that was one of those cases of looking at the comments and reading a comment, thinking that it's correct, and then checking, and it's actually not correct. I was right in the first place. So anyway, donations. That's what I was saying. Yeah. Did I get to the PayPal thing? Between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. So here's the thing. And Ruth Ann says it's Phil Jam 340. The likes are 335. Phil Jam number 340, 335 is how many likes we get. Or maybe I said it. Did I say it differently than it is displayed on screen? If that's the case, then that would have been my mouth saying something and my brain not listening to what my mouth is saying. Because sometimes that happens when I'm doing an analysis video. It happens now and again. It hasn't happened in quite a while, maybe a few years, where I've been editing a video and I know exactly what I thought I said, but then I'd say something else, and it's usually to do with either dates or years of things. And I'll know that Believe by Share, for example, was released in 1998, but I'll say something else. My mouth might say something like 2001, which was the first iteration of Melodyne pitch correcting software. So, or at least that brand of pitch correcting software. So sometimes I will be talking and I'll be assuming my mouth is at least saying what I'm thinking, but then it will throw out a wrong date. So yeah, that kind of thing does happen. If that happened in the live stream, then apologies. Right, what was I just saying? Yeah, authentic vocal, because let's jump into that. So here's the lowdown, and Authentic Vocal is my other channel, and it's at official Authentic Vocal, and you'll only find genuine performances there that aren't AI. They are humans, and they're not using pitch correction or auto tune. They're not lip syncing or miming. So that is the place to find those performances. And I upload the authentic vocal performances from this channel over onto that channel, because I often get asked here, where are the analysis videos of the singers who are singing live and aren't lip syncing or miming? So now you'll be able to find all those in the authentic, or on the Authentic Vocal channel, but as well as other performances that I'm looking at, have looked at, with BBC Introducing and Sussex and Surrey here in the UK, but also other artists that I featured that I've been in touch with, and have done analysis videos on them that aren't necessarily always on this channel. So the reason that I mention it is because we are swimming against the tide with that particular channel. But the good news is that the last video, I think it's had either 11,000 or 13,000 views. And you might think, because of this channel, that's not many views. But for the Authentic Vocal channel, that's really good, because we've got, I think, over 7,500 subscribers now, which means that the videos, or at least the last video, has been seen by more people than are subscribed. So what does that mean? It means that the video is getting out, and YouTube is maybe pushing a video out there to more people than are subscribed. So that is amazing, because it's never done that on the channel. So I'm wondering if, because I've been mentioning it and people have been watching it, the algorithm is now kind of pushing it a little bit. I don't know how much it would push it, but I'm going to keep on uploading the videos there on Mondays at 8 o'clock. That's when I do those. So you'll be able to find an authentic performance, an authentic analysis video on Mondays. I mean, all of my analysis videos are authentic, but I'm saying that the performance is just totally natural, unedited. But it's great, because I think this is the first time that we've now kind of superseded the amount of people that are subscribed. So yeah, fingers crossed that continues. Why is this important? I hear you cry. It's important because the more views that happen, especially above the subscriber count, the more watch hours you get. And you need to get 10,000 watch hours over a 365-day period. So at the moment, it means that we are just over 5,000 watch hours. So we're halfway there. But the cutoff point is going to be December of this year. So it means we've got about 4 months to get another 5,000 hours of viewing time. And if the videos do get pushed out that a little bit, then I'm hoping that we will make it, because then the channel becomes monetized. And why is that important? It means that the people or the artists that are featured on Authentic Vocal will make ad revenue from the videos. So yeah, that would be great if, you know, if it could turn into something where there are a lot of subscribers and maybe thousands of people are watching these videos. Then we can start to put a spotlight and give a bit of exposure to artists that are genuinely doing everything live and might not be kind of post-editing their performances. And not only that, not only will they get exposure, but if they own the publishing to their own music, they will then get the ad revenue for people watching the video that is giving them exposure. So it's really a win-win. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get to that point in the future. But yeah, certainly going in the right direction. So that's the Authentic Vocal thing. And if you want to get involved yourselves directly, you can head over to patreon.com/Authentic Vocal. Right, now, the other thing, actually a couple of things. First of all, we'll get through the video from last night where I was looking at a video, a previous analysis video, and it was Lainey Gardner was the name of the lady who was singing. And recently, I think the algorithm does this sometimes. It kind of pushes a random video of mine out there. And it's been the case recently because I've had loads of comments on that video that I made. And this is why I've now made this video, because the comments are all saying, oh, yeah, she did it all in one take. And if you saw that video last night, you know what I'm talking about. So I'll just address one comment in there that I answered today. And I don't think people really understand what doing a vocal in one take is. Because this person said, oh, I'm not denying what you're saying, or, not trying to contradict what you're saying. But is it possible she recorded this in one take and then added bits of other takes to the audio, the bits that she wasn't happy with? And I mean, I did answer and say, that's a contradiction. You can't say that it's one take when it's multiple takes that are all pieced together and potentially, as was the case there, copied and pasted. So yeah, because I did show on the video as well that there were bits that went out of sync with the video, such as saying, I think the L, the letter L, the consonant L, that the vocal, the movement happened, I think it was too late after we've already heard the L that's come out. So we know that something's gone on, that the audio that we're hearing isn't to do with this video, but that's what it was. And yeah, we proved that last night in the video. But it's just interesting that somebody will say, yes, but is it possible it was a one take? But you can't then say, is it possible it was a one take vocal with other takes put on top of it? Because that's what doing multiple takes of a vocal is. So let's say, for example, I record myself singing Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. I sing it once, and then I sing it twice, and then I sing it 3 times a lady, and then I sing it 4 times. So now I've got 4 takes of all of that. Those were all separate takes. So you could say that that first one was a first take, the second one was a first take, the third one was a first take, and the fourth one was a first take. But then you take all of those together and switch and swap and put all the best bits into one final thing. And then once that final take is done, then you can record the video of you now singing along. And that's why you'll do it out of time, because you're not actually singing it, but you're trying to get the movements the same as, some of those. So, I mean, I'm not disputing that the video was recorded with somebody pressing record, and then what we're seeing is one take. That's why it goes out of sync with the audio, because the audio and the video aren't together. They're not related. But as for the saying that, still trying to make the case that the audio was done in one take, it's impossible for that to happen. So I'm not really sure how people are interpreting or understanding what doing just one take means. You can't have multiple takes and then call it one take. So that was last night's video, and hopefully the problem with that was the kinds of comments that I get and the messages that I receive, that given that the people that are saying these things are potentially throwing abuse my way in the language that they're using. I think one of them, I put it on the thumbnail, you're full of, and then an emoticon. You think, well, it's amazing that people are willing to do that, and they know they haven't done any research. They know that they haven't double checked the audio or looked for the synchronicity between what's being sung and then what you're hearing. They just think that they're right. And you say, well, what proof have you got of that? Oh, none. I haven't got any actual proof apart from what I believe. So that isn't proof. And that's the problem. So, but I'm amazed at the lengths to which people will defend what they think and how potentially insulting they'll be, but they know they don't actually really know that. But I guess it's when people think something, they think that's now a fact. So, you can think anything. I was explaining earlier today that it's exactly the same when somebody says, oh yeah, but could it be one take? I said, well, no, because it's multiple takes. It's exactly the same as saying, right, I'm going to throw this basketball into the basketball hoop there, and I'm at the halfway line. So I'm going to do it in one take. And people say, okay, go on then. So then, and this is a YouTube video that you're watching of me doing this, by the way. So then I jump and, shoot the ball, and we then cut to another shot, and it's the ball going in the hoop. And then I celebrate. And then obviously people will comment underneath. And some people say, wow, I can't believe he did that in one take. And then other people will say, why did it cut away to another shot if it's all in one take, that he did it that one time? And that's the point, that if you're throwing it and then you're cutting away to another time when you did actually get it in there, and people might ask, why did you cut away? And I'd say, oh, it's because I missed it 55 times, but then the 56th time it went in. So we just use the end of that. We use that part. Actually, no. It's more relevant to say that I filmed myself taking the shot, and then I went up to the hoop and just popped the ball in, and we just did a close in frame of that, because I can't do it from the halfway line. I can't throw it far enough. So that's why I put it in. But people would always question the edit, and they'd say, well, that's not in one take. It's exactly the same thing for audio. If you're doing another take and replacing things and copy and pasting, it's not all that same take. So interesting how people define things. But I always say in my videos that I'll try to explain things as best I can. And I know that what I'm saying here is probably more along the lines of the troll corner that we have. But another person said, I tell you what, we'll jump into troll corner just very quickly while I remember this. And we have to do the intro first. We were almost leaving troll corner. So let's get into troll corner first.
Oh, hello.
So just while I think of it, this person that said, why do you feel that you have to address these people that are saying these things, who are saying things that are incorrect factually? And the reason that I feel that I've got to address some of these comments, but also, maybe put them on screen, is that hopefully I feel like people, and it might be me just living in a dream world, but I feel that some people might actually realize that, oh yeah, when I did write that message that was borderline abusive, I didn't have any proof. And they might actually realize that, oh, what he's pointing out has proven me wrong, therefore in the future I should make sure I've got objective data and factual data to rely on before I make a judgment about something. So I'm hoping that it might be the case that even if I get through to one person, I think it's worth it for somebody to think more critically. The only way that I think you can achieve that is by showing somebody factual data, objective data, and hope that they realize what they're saying is now untrue. Because for somebody who's arguing, saying, oh, where's Mr. Troll gone? He's disappeared. I don't know why Mr. Troll has disappeared. Let me see if I can get him. Yeah, there he is. But if somebody is making that point, I think the best way to be able to show them is by displaying on screen something that is a copied and pasted vocal, because then it absolutely proves that what they're saying is incorrect. So I'm hoping that some people are not beyond help, and they might realize, oh, I was wrong with that, so what else might I be wrong about? And that's all it is. It's just questioning what is happening, but also questioning what people are telling you, especially the bands or the artists. Because I've had multiple videos where it's been the case where either the band or the artist has stated, oh, it's fully live, oh, it was a fully live vocal, but then we prove that it wasn't. So, and that's I guess it's something that's going to be more prevalent in the mainstream music industry. But in this case, I don't have any proof that the people that are saying to me, oh, you're wrong, because Lainey and her mum said it was all one take, that it was spontaneous. So and I can't quantify that, because I don't know if that was said. I've just had lots of comments of people telling me why I'm wrong because they've said that. But it still doesn't mean someone's wrong if somebody says something. They have to provide the objective data and the objective proof to prove that what they're saying is correct. So this is it. And the other thing about my videos is that everything that I present, if somebody is then going to argue against it and say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, and you're an idiot, and he's proven that himself that he's wrong. Those kinds of comments, they make me laugh, because I'm proving that I'm right. The only way that you can prove I'm wrong is by proving that I'm wrong. So get your own objective data from the same performance and now contradict what I have displayed. And a spoiler alert, I think I've got almost 3,000 videos on my channel now, which is crazy. But so far, it hasn't happened. And I feel like, touch wood, it hasn't happened. But it's not a case of, hoping it doesn't happen, because that's the point of objective data, is that it is there to be proven wrong. So if somebody does prove it wrong, then I can do a video saying, oh, well, what I was pointing out was fundamentally incorrect because of this, this, and this. But I already know that the data is absolutely undeniable when you're talking about pitch data to 1/100th of a second and copy and pasting vocals. There's only one display that arises from doing that, and that is a line going perfectly over another line, which is impossible for human vocal cords to achieve. So All interesting though. So we've also got, I mean, a lot of things I'm talking about tonight on the live stream, but we've also got, let's get out of troll corner. So I'll see you guys in a second. Rock. So we have also got, saying it for the third time, a video that I was linked to, but a video that I did recently on AI and how using AI as part of your workflow. I had Joe, who was a songwriter, musician. We also had a producer. We also, was kind of Rick Beato's image on the thumbnail, because we had Joe's video, who's the songwriter, was referencing a video that Rick Beato made. So that was the link in there. And I did get a message saying, oh, why is Rick on the thumbnail? But I say in the video what it's all about. So anyway, I mentioned in that video how, in my view, and I was just asked for my opinion on the two videos that I've been sent links to, and that's sometimes what happens on my channel is somebody just, either on Instagram or via email say, Phil, what are your views on this? What are your views on that? And I just watch it and I answer that person's question, but in a video. So that's what I was doing in that particular video. So Joe then made a video responding to my video, and I've made contact with Joe, and we'll get to that in a second. But unfortunately, the example that I gave in my video was hugely misunderstood. It was like a hypothetical situation that I was that I was presenting, and I said that if somebody says using AI is exactly the same as using a session musician, you can't say that, because it's different things. In the same way that, and I know that this analogy of marrying a doll is not going to go on for even longer, but I still stand by what I said. This crazy image and idea, that the reason that I chose this as an example was because it is ridiculous and it is crazy to try to help demonstrate what I mean. And this is where I think maybe it got lost in translation, and that's something that Joe said, because we've been talking via email. He said, things do get lost in translation, and in his response video he was saying that I had said that him using AI is like asking a doll to do the chores. And unfortunately, that's absolutely not what I was saying. I was saying, and I'll just say what I said again, that saying that using AI is the same as using a session musician isn't the same thing. And then I likened it, again, ridiculously, because that's the point, to somebody marrying a human and somebody marrying a doll. I said that a human's a human, a doll is a doll. And I'm not talking about here using AI or people that use it as part of their workflow, treating AI as a doll. I'm not getting into that. I'm just purely addressing that point, that if somebody uses a session musician, what do? They contact a session musician. There's a human, there's an interaction, and that you might have the person's phone number, that you're talking to a person, that you're working with them, that it's not AI. As in, somebody else who uses AI, they know that they're not talking to somebody on the phone. And this is as basic as I was using that example for, in the same way that if you were to marry a doll, that that's a doll. So nothing to do with kind of insulting people who use AI. I was just making that ridiculous example as an observation for those people that are saying it's the same thing. And now, whether you say that you get the same result, that is something that we can talk about that's beyond the example that I'm giving. So yeah, my example had nothing to do with, I wasn't saying that Joe was using a doll or it's like using a doll. I'm saying for the people actually that have asked me that and said that on my videos and in my comments section. So it wasn't really anything to do with Joe's video, anything that he said or that he's done. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting how people can maybe not see things as I'm maybe not clearly describing it, but all I was saying there was that the difference between working with a human and working with AI. So yeah, getting further into that, here's the argument. The product that you get in the end, it could be seen as the same thing. And this is where it's going to be really interesting to discuss, because Joe, we've had contact back and forth, and I said to him that it's always interesting to find or to find out about people that do use AI as part of their workflow who are musicians. And again, I'm talking about here musicians, songwriters, maybe lyricists as well, who are using AI. They're using it as part of their workflow, but they're not just typing in a prompt. So you've got music professionals that are using it, and then you've got other people who are just typing in a prompt, like the bands that I've featured that aren't disclosing that it's AI, and they're just typing in words and getting the whole song. It's not even their song, it's just creating something randomly, and then they are saying that that's a band and an artist and that it's their song. So what is interesting, what I think is going to be great, is that Joe has agreed to join me on the channel, and we are going to be discussing all of these different things and the viewpoints that he has about using AI, and obviously the viewpoint that I have about using AI. So I mean, because everything that I do on my channel, really, irrespective of what I'm doing, I'm approaching it from the objective direction. So whatever I think about, and I will explain it to Joe when I chat to him about the doll thing, that I'm not saying that AI is, a doll. I'm saying that a doll is a doll compared to a human. I'm not getting into AI processes when I say that. And yeah, it is a ridiculous comparison to make, but I think it really does kind of highlight the point that I am making. So, but anyway, when we're talking about now having worked with a session musician, let's say, for example, they give you a particular guitar line or a riff that you think, oh, that's quite good, I'm going to use that. And then you say, thank you, session musician. Here's your fee if we haven't indeed agreed a fee, or here's the percentage split of your ownership of the song, because we might have agreed on that. There's different ways that you can work it out. But now with AI, you've paid your subscription to Suno, and it has given you something like a riff, and you think, oh, that's interesting, I quite like that, I'm going to use that riff. So what's happened there is that you've got two things that have the thing that you've ended up with has come from two different avenues, but you've still ended up with effectively the same thing that's happened. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting discussion, because you've then got the problem is always going to be the legalities of it and the way that, Suno. Oh, here's another thing. Suno at the moment is being sued. Oh, I don't know if it was a company. I don't know whether it was Suno or not, but there's an AI company that is now Germany has ruled on, saying that the way that it was trained was illegal, that it didn't have permission to be trained on what it was trained on. But then Suno, apparently, from what I saw a video earlier, that Suno was hacked, I think, and it found all of the places that Suno went to train its AI models. So I'm thinking whether I've got this right. I think it was Suno, but I know that there are court cases going on all over the place with AI. So yeah, the legalities of it are going to be interesting. But with Suno, if it can be proven that I'm pretty sure that I'm correct, but if it can be proven that that was the case, that it has been trained on all of these different things, and the sites that were listed were like YouTube. It's like, think of all the music on YouTube. So it's just said to AI, there you go, just go into YouTube and train on everything. What if we don't own that music? Doesn't matter. Just go into YouTube and train yourself. So yeah, obviously there were lots of other sites that were listed as well. But yeah, if it is the case that it can now be proven that the AI models were trained on so much material that they didn't have permission to train it on, then that's going to be the problem. Like if you are using AI in your workflow, that it's coming up with something. And I even saw where, and this was, I think, Top Music Attorney, the channel, where they typed in these different handles, or like producer handles that they put into songs, where the DJ or whoever's doing it says their name. And AI was creating the same handles that are on these artists' works. So it means that the AI must have been trained on that person's song to reproduce exactly what the person was asking for. So, and that's another huge problem, that if the prompts, accidentally or incidentally match a person's song that it's trained on, that it could regurgitate something that is copyright, and then somebody uses that, you think, well, that's going to be a huge problem. So this is going to be the huge problem for Suno and other AI companies if it is indeed found out. First of all, they didn't have permission to train on every song ever, but I think it's, apart from kind of proving it, I think it's accepted that that's what must have happened for it to have learnt so much so quickly. So you've got that side of things with learning on all of these songs, but then what if it is producing copyright material, but it's just doing what it's been told? And we've got that other whole discussion. It's going to be really interesting to discuss this, because now we can talk about influence and a human being influenced by somebody else's song. Is that human going to say exactly what the other artist has said in their song in the same voice? Well, no, that's going to be impossible. But that's what AI potentially is doing, or at least in the examples that I saw. It's just reproducing that specific thing that it's been trained on. This, matching the prompts exactly, but that is copyright material. So we will see, but hopefully in the future that's going to happen. We have said for next Sunday maybe that we'll do that, and that's going to be a standalone video, so it's going to be released after we do it, and I'll edit it together. But I'm always interested to get other people's points of view on AI, and especially people that are using it and how they feel about using AI and getting an idea that they know they didn't come up with, but then using that idea, and do they treat that as the same as going to a session musician? Because I would say that the end result is the same, but then saying it's exactly the same as going to a session musician, it can't be, because it is AI. It's not a human that's coming up with it. And I don't think we'll probably get into the discussion of how AI has been trained, because that's going to be something for the future. That it might be the case that if it is proven that Suno has been training its models on stuff that it had no right to train it on, I don't know what happens there, whether anything that's produced in Suno is then, I don't know, blacklisted, not allowed. I don't know. I think it's probably gone too far already to be able to even police that. So I think it will just be for creators would have to be really careful, because Suno might have to put a disclaimer on there saying, by the way, in one of your creations there might be stuff that's copyright that you don't own. So then if you do upload it yourself, you might be breaching copyright law and you might be sued by the owner of that particular song. That could happen. Obviously it means that Suno get off scot-free. I think in the normal world, what would happen is you'd say, right, if you have done that, trained all of your models on music that you didn't have permission to take or train a model on to then make a profit from, all of that music that you didn't have permission to train on, or the model to train on, if that is indeed the case, then we're going to remove all of the music that you didn't have permission to train on. We're going to remove that from the model, and you have to reset your model. That would be a disaster, because imagine now you're trying to train an AI model. I mean, that would set Suno back by 10 years, because you'd say, right, now you can only train it on stuff that you've got permission to train on. So they'd have to be putting one song in at a time. And by the way, the songs that, at least this portion, the amount of songs that they found it had been trained on, that was, the amount of data it was, I think, was 43 years of each song playing back to back. That's how long you would have to take to listen to every song that it is trained without permission. So yeah, but like I said, this is all up in the air as to the legalities of it and whether or not that did or didn't happen. For me, it seems like it probably is likely, because how do you train an AI model that quickly and get it to do what it's doing now if you're not taking a huge amount of data, humongous data loads, and just piling that all in to an AI model to train it on, and just thinking, well, we're not going to get permission to do any of this. Every song ever, we'll chuck it in, because it is going to be learning from every song, every genre, which means when somebody types in some prompts, it can produce something, because it would have already listened to it, that is similar to the prompts, and we can make money from it. So yeah, it's all quite interesting. But yeah, it's going to be cool to have a chat with Joe and get his point of view on all of it. And for me, it's all about, yeah, having a sensible discussion with people, especially like-minded individuals and musicians, and see their point of view on AI and just see how they contrast and compare. Because yeah, as you guys know, it's not about saying, oh, well, that's rubbish and this person shouldn't be using it, or if you use it, it doesn't count, or anyone can do what they want. That's the beauty of art. You know, if somebody wants to use AI, then they can do. It might change somebody's opinion of the art, but that is artistic license. You can do whatever you want to do. So yeah, we'll be jumping into that next Sunday, potentially, hopefully, fingers crossed. So right, let me just quickly jump into the super chat window, because there have been a couple of donations in there, I think. And by the way, we are 23 likes away from busting out the guitar and having a jam at the end of the live stream. And the jam is going to be me playing my guitar. It's not going to be an AI version of me playing an AI guitar or anything like that, or an AI backing track even. It's going to be just a backing track. Oh, I wonder when that's going to happen, when people start uploading. They probably already are uploading AI backing tracks. Who knows? But yeah, we will see. If you can hit that thumbs up, would be very much appreciated. So let's get rid of the likeometer, because I need to jump to this other section. And Paul's donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, have fun tonight, all y'all. Peace, love, and rock. Catch up crew for me. So thank you for that. And Timothy Rocks has donated $9.99. So thank you for that, Timothy. And it's a straight up donation. Orlando's donated $2 and says, hi everyone, let's do this. Hit that thumbs up button. Great idea. Thank you for that. And Lazy LCH has donated $10. Thank you for that. The message is, hi Phil, I'm new to Jamiroquai. Watched your analysis video and loved it. Saw a concert where JK said they always use backing tracks. What does that mean for how real it is? So thank you for that donation and the question. So with Jamiroquai, from what I've seen, I've done an analysis video on them. So when they are if they are indeed using backing tracks for the situations where they do, I think this is probably most likely to be their songs that have a very particular effect or synth sound on it, which means that sometimes trying to reproduce that live if you don't have access to maybe what you used in the studio at the time that you recorded it, it might even be a plugin that you can't patch through your keyboard, and there are lots of different reasons for it, and you try and get the same kind of sound, but then you don't quite get the same sound, and it's really annoying. It's most likely going to be the case, and absolutely we're not talking about a lead vocal here on a backing track. That's something that I've never seen JK do. When we're talking about a backing track, we are talking about backing, something that is going to be in the background with the band. So the Jamiroquai setup, as I know it, is a fully live band, fully live vocals, live backing vocals as well, but there might be a backing track that has a particular synth or album sound that is either on the backing track, in which case if it is going to be a set performance of a song, the drummer's going to be playing to a click track, so that this synth sound or whatever it might be is now synchronized with the rest of the performance. Obviously everyone is then performing to the drummer, so it's all going to be in time. The other way of using synth sounds is to trigger them. So you might have a particular sample that sometimes you'll see a drummer who has what looks like an electric snare or something that you get on an electric kit. It's like a pad, and that is for triggering sounds. So it means that if there is a particular part of the song where it might not just be something that happens very quickly for like a second or two, it might be a sound that goes on for 4 or 5 seconds at this part of the song. The drummer will trigger that sound to start, and then it plays, and then it ends. And that triggering sounds, I think, I'm not sure whether you would really refer to that as a backing track, but it is certainly something that is pre-recorded and then triggered at a particular time. But as far as I know, with Jamiroquai, it's always going to be something along those lines. It's not going to be like a guitar pretending to play, and the guitar is actually on a backing track and the guitarist isn't playing. It's a full live band and everything is live, but there might be, it's generally going to be for something that is a killer element of a song that people just want to hear, that particular synth sound. So again, as for asking what does that mean for how real it is, it means that you've got everything about the band are there. Everyone's playing live, everyone's singing live, but there might be a sound that is coming from a backing track that might sound like synth, or it might sound like somebody playing keys. It might sound like a triggered sound, but the important thing is, if you take out that element of the backing track, what does it sound like? And the answer would be you're still getting potentially 3 backing vocalists, JK's lead vocal, you're getting a guitar. I can't remember if there might have been 2 rhythm guitars where we then have one of them breaks off into lead. Then you've got at least 1 keys player, so we've got kind of 7 things going on without the backing track. So if the backing track fails, what do you have? You have a big band. It's still going to sound impressive, but it's just those tiny little, maybe a cherry on top to get it to sound like the original release for that particular synth part to be in there. Now, the other side of things is, imagine that you're watching a band who are a 3-piece and they're using a backing track. And they might have keys on there, they might have guitars on there, they might have backing vocals on there, they might have the synth elements and different things coming in. Now, what happens when that backing track drops out? They might even have kind of like I said, backing vocals. They might it shouldn't be on a backing track like a lead vocal. They might have that, but anyway, imagine if that backing track fails. What are you now left with? You're left with a vocal, drums, and bass, like single instruments. If the singer's playing the guitar, you'll have a guitar as well. So it means that the sound is going to dramatically drop out, because you've now just got those 3 instruments instead of all the other things that are on the backing track. So that's the difference, is that when there is a huge band to begin with, the backing tracks aren't really going to be that noticeable because the band are doing most of it. Whereas then you've got a band who have very few members and a lot of it's on the backing track, and that's where you think, yeah, that's now kind of really relying on backing tracks. But like that video that we had on Wasp recently, looking at that shorts video, where if that drops out, then you don't get the lead vocal anymore. You think, well, yeah, that really will be a dropout. It means pretty much the whole sound disappears because the vocal doesn't exist. But anyway, yeah, thank you for that. Orlando's donated $2 as well, or should I say again? And the message here is, have you ever used bar or barcodes? So thank you for that. Yes, all the time. Yeah, a barchord is just when you move your E position or A position up the fretboard, or C position if you're going to kind of stretch out a bit, and you just put your first finger across the guitar, and yeah, it's something that most guitarists will be doing all the time. And Marta's donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message was, hi Phil, don't forget an epic troll corner please. We've already done the troll corner, so that must have been a previous donation. And Orlando's donated $2 as well and says, I am on my other account to give another like, thumbs up. So thank you for that. And Plume's donated £2 and said, get Joe to show his AI workflow live, react to it. So thank you for that. And I don't know how I'm going to be able to get Joe to present his screen. That might be something that we can work out, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. But I will ask him and see, because yeah, people are asking just to see what it's like, and yeah, maybe we could work through something and go through each stage, because yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, it might mean that the video goes on for about two hours, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see that. Right, well, we are going to be jumping into tonight's cover video because it's midnight already, but I am just jumping into the PayPal window as well, because there's a donation over there, and it is Beatrice who donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, what is your opinion on England's vote to withdraw from the 2030 FIFA World Cup? So thank you for that. And well, lots of other countries were going to pull out of that because of FIFA, or should I say that the guy that owns FIFA wanting to make it kind of sell off shares of the World Cup. So yeah, unfortunately, I mean, that's why everyone in Europe, every European country then said, well, we're not going to play in the 2030 World Cup, because football is about the fans. So yeah, if you start selling off the most popular or the main competition of football, then where does that end? That's ridiculous. And I agree. I think that the amount of money that must be generated from TV rights and sponsorships, why then the need to, obviously greed, making more money, to then sell it off to private investors and shareholders and that kind of thing? Yeah, so yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that if it's something that's now, oh well, it doesn't really bode well for the president of FIFA to show his hand that it's about money, because then you think, well, where does that end? If somebody says to you, oh, we want to do really well at the World Cup, but we're not very good, but we have a lot of money, maybe we can give you that. And can you put us in a group of teams that's a little bit easier? Can you maybe get a referee who's not as strict on our team? You know, where does that end? But there's always been suspicion around all that kind of stuff. But it's not a good look to then say, oh yeah, and by the way, I want to make as much money from this competition as possible. So yeah, thank you for that donation. Karen's donated £3.56. The message is, greetings from beautiful California. Phil, you're right about the drownings. We have them each year. Just curious. I think I heard a headline about FIFA in Europe and some sort of purchase not including Europe. What? So thank you for that. Yeah, so basically, well, by the way, the latest news is because all of the countries in Europe, and I think actually in other places now, have pulled out of the World Cup, he's now said, oh, I'm not going to do that anymore, so it's not for sale. So, yeah, it means that the World Cup is going to hopefully go ahead as it normally would do. Oh, but the thing that gets me is, for the next World Cup, 6 teams have already qualified. So over the next 2 years, they're not even going to have to play a match. It's Argentina have automatically qualified. Uruguay have already qualified. Portugal, Spain. Paraguay as well. How many are we up to? 5. I don't know. But because it's the 100th year of the World Cup, I think they're going to have one game in Argentina and one game in Paraguay, maybe, or maybe they're not even having a game in Paraguay. So yeah, they're going to have one game, which means technically Argentina are hosting the World Cup, even though they're not. It's in Spain, Portugal, and there's another country that's helping, or Morocco. Maybe it's Morocco, but it means that obviously the hosts always automatically qualify. So Spain, Portugal, I'm going to say Morocco because it might be that. But now you've got Argentina who are automatically qualifying because they're playing a single game in their country. And then I assume then coming to the real World Cup. So yeah, that's what's so stupid about that is there's also a competition called the Euros, which England are going to be hopefully qualifying for, but England are hosting it. So England are hosting it, but we still have to qualify for it. You still have to win your games and do that kind of thing. Oh, and by the way, yeah, the next World Cup, obviously 2030 is in 4 years. So it means over the next 4 years, Argentina aren't going to have to play a single qualifying game. They're already there. So that's got to be nice. Certainly takes the stress off. But yeah, that kind of thing never happens to England. I mean, I think if FIFA said, well, England invented the game, so why don't they get a free ticket? You think, yeah, well, we're only playing the game because they invented it. But anyway, yeah, let's jump into... talk about lots of things tonight. Let's jump into... still haven't found what I'm looking for. Has got, 59% of the vote. So thank you guys for that. And then we'll jump into... very quickly, the Phil Jam will bust out the guitar. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Obviously, it's my version of the YouTube classic, and I'll see you after. Rock! What's happened? I said the rock. Oh. Did you notice how long that took to happen on screen? Let's see if we get the delay. Rock. That time it's quick.
Through the fields
and we haven't got time for that. So thank you for voting for that particular cover video for tonight. Quickly, before we get into the Phil Jam, Therese has donated £14.22. So thank you for that. And the message was, love your videos. So thank you for watching. And there's one more. This is, I think it's a straight up donation. What's going on here? Oh, this is not a donation. It's just a purchase from my website. So thank you for that. M, I think EM is what it says. So yeah, let's zoom out. Oh, I think, what did Joe say? Let me scroll up. I saw, what's that? Yes, 335 looking guitar on the wall in this vid. So I think that was it's an Ibanez. So it's the Ibanez, AS200, if you want to look that up. It's something in that kind of ballpark. But yeah, that's not a guitar that I own. That's one of my dad's guitars hanging on the wall in the background. So you're going to have to ask him about it. But yeah, it's definitely an Ibanez. Right. What are we doing? We are turning on the microphone. We were going to zoom out. That's what I was. Okay, doing that. And we've got to turn on the laptop. Not turn it on, but wake it up. Right, so this is we have to go here. Let's get to, okay, it's 5.5 minutes. So we're a bit behind for tonight, but this is a dramatic neoclassical guitar backing track in D minor. I tell you what, I'm just going to check that I clicked on the right one there. 340, which is there.
Wait, I mean.
Yeah, it was. Okay, right. Let me mute that. Wait for that to go through. So, yeah, dramatic neoclassical guitar backing track in D minor. Epic jam session. And this is from 13 guitar backing track. So, is this on? That's on there. And this, rather disturbingly, was really quiet. So, as for the levels, can't really do much about it. As long as I can hear it, and you can hear a little bit of my guitar. Oh, that wasn't even it. Can you hear this? Loading going. Oh, what's happened there? Sudden ending. Okay, there we have it. Sudden ending going on there. And it looked like we lost connection. So yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. That's just a YouTube thing. So that was dramatic neoclassical guitar backing track in D minor. Epic jam session from 13 guitar backing track. So yes, thank you, Joe, for sending that my way. That was the Phil Jam for tonight. And right, we are up to date with everything. So yeah, I'm not sure how much of the backing track you actually heard. Maybe, well, it kind of defeats the object of doing it again, because it means that I've now heard the backing track and I kind of know what it goes like. But maybe we can do it again in the future at some point if we did miss a lot of that, or if you didn't hear what I was playing for a long time. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight, and I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night, so look out for that one. I'll be live streaming on Tuesday night again, so if you can join me then, it would be very much appreciated, and we might have a Phil Jam if we can, get the thumbs up on a Tuesday night as well. So right, all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Rock!